Today, I'm showing you everything you need to know about today's Ninjago update in LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. Loading in today, you'll be greeted with the brand new Fire Master Kai outfit via the LEGO Pass. So if you guys already have Crew Pass or want to purchase the LEGO Pass, this will be the first unlock. Not just that, but inside of the item shop is the brand new Ninjago bundle. It costs 2,800 V-Bucks. And if you guys are going to purchase it, consider using code CRAFTYPLAYS in order to help support me. Upon loading in today, you'll be spawned onto the NINJAGO island with a brand new screen that says NINJAGO. Out of nowhere, the sounds of battle fill your ears. A blast of energy stuns you as you're transported to an unfamiliar land. Once the storm ends, you'll receive a glider. You will then be able to leave the monastery. So starting off, we will speak to an NPC here who will guide us through this tutorial. Now you will again be able to leave here, so you just have to complete this tutorial and then you can go back to your main village if you so choose. We can open up this chest right in front of us. Now this should be a familiar sight as these chests are all over the map and you're going to want to open them in order to get some of the brand new resources. This first one will give us a brand new regeneration charm as well as a brand new health charm. You can see that there is a star next to them and we will get to cover that a little bit later. Regular chests are still on the map and they're going to also give you new materials, whether that's energy, a lot of health potions, or even some bamboo. An NPC will give us our first weapon, which will be the bamboo nunchucks. These have two different attack styles to them. The first attack is your primary attack and it is a basic attack, meaning you will shoot or you will hit an enemy one single time. Holding this button in will attack very quickly though, which is very nice. The second attack is going to be your secondary, which will do a spinning attack, which will hit multiple enemies at the same time, just like you saw. Now these portals show off inside of the demonstration. It will tell you to throw the chaos embers into the portal. This will shut down the portal and prevent the enemies from respawning. This is a portal respawner, meaning it'll just continue to push enemies out as long as it's up. You'll find these all over Ninjago Island, so you do need to defeat the enemies and then throw the ember in there, and that'll prevent them all from spawning near you. We are then going to speak to Lloyd, and he's going to give us a basic rundown of LEGO Fortnite Odyssey. So if you're a brand new player to the game, he's going to help guide you to finish up and get yourself situated inside of your Odyssey world. If you're a more advanced player or you've been playing the game for a while, a lot of the objectives that he's going to give you off the start are going to be very beginner friendly. The first thing that you're going to need to do is place down a bed and then assign it to yourselves. And a few of these are going to be just like that when you start off, but it does progress very quickly. Once you finish that, you're then going to speak to Lloyd again, and this time he's going to have you follow him down into the dragon stable. You heard that right, a dragon stable. Now keep in mind this is a two-part type of update, meaning that dragon stable may be important come the second update. But simply follow Lloyd all the way down to the dragon stable to start the second part of this quest. Once you follow him down to the stable, he's going to tell you that the fire dragons are gone, and they're now in the hands of the enemies, which is not a good sign. That means that you're going to have to start training, and the first thing that we're going to learn is going to be Spinjitzu. They placed a yellow icon over the chest that we need to find, but it's also that same red one that we spotted earlier. Inside of here is going to be something called the Spinjitzu scroll. Now this is going to work just like our previous superpowers if you use them. You're going to need to drag and drop this scroll directly into your equipment slot in order to use it. We'll now have to test this 3 times. So taking a look in the top right corner, you could then see what key or what button this icon is bound down to. So for myself, it is the control button, and I will then need to press this 3 separate times in order to complete that quest and to learn Spinjitzu. Immediately after you finish, you're then going to have enemies spawn. Use Spinjitzu in order to defeat them. It's very funny the way that they fly and then eventually die, but then you'll have to throw the Chaos Ember into the portal to destroy that portal. We're then going to go and speak to Salel. Now she's going to teach us how to create our weapons, because this is again something that we are going to need to learn about. We're also going to learn about the star system, which is very important, so lock in right now as I explain what this is going to be. The star system is going to be what level you are in the game, or how powerful your crafting weapons and even equipment are going to be. So what we're going to do is go into Salel's shop, and this is going to be where we could learn about the brand new workspaces as well as this new star system. You're going to find this chest directly next to a workbench, and what this is going to do is give you very basic materials that you are going to have to use. Our next objective is crafting a 4-star health charm at the ninja workbench. Now in order to do this, what we are going to do is take a look and notice that we need to use the bamboo that we just received in order to create one of these health charms. Once you've done this, you then need to then equip that health charm. It's going to take over the slot of one of your previously used health charms, but I believe that these do offer more health than typically what you were using before. If you didn't play the superhero update, walk up to the potions cauldron and you can create one jumbo health potion just from what they already have set inside of this area. Lloyd is going to give you a glider, and now it is time to adventure out and see exactly what's going on inside of Ninjago Island. Now this is the part in the video where I'm going to talk about a lot more of the advanced tips and tricks that I've found and how we can explore and navigate this world. I will say that I have not finished every single quest in the entire game, as I don't think that's possible to do in a single setting, but we are going to cover absolutely everything that you need to know. The first challenge that we're going to have is called a Combat Chaos Challenge. These are very important because anytime that you could see some prefab building set up around the map, there should be a challenge located in there. For this first one, it was a combat challenge, meaning I needed to defeat enemies in order to get this chest. Inside of this chest is a bunch of items that we're going to need, one of which is called Ritual Oil, which may be the most important item for us to collect. There's also mini games located around the map, like what you could find when it comes to these scrolls. When you see these, you want to quickly run up to them and collect every single scroll. What this is going to do is drop one of those red chests that we spotted earlier, which is then going to give us more Ritual Oil and even more items that we're then going to need when it comes to this update. Really cool feature that came along with this has to do with a brand new teleport button. Now this only works when it comes to going to the ninja's monastery. So what I mean by this is no matter where you are on your map, if you need to go back to the monastery, you can open your map, press the teleport button, and it'll bring you back here in just a second or two. In a previous video, I mentioned that the #1 way to prepare for this update had to do with stacking essence. And that's because in order to level up all of your ninja masteries, you are going to need essence. And a lot of the things that you're going to need to unlock are going to be located in there. So let's talk about a few things that have to do with our monastery and some of our essence or masteries. So let's talk about our first workbench that we're going to take a look at, which is the Ritual Altar. Inside of here is going to allow us to create honed bamboo. Any type of new bamboo is going to be very useful when it comes to creating new weapons and even new charms. I mentioned Ritual Oil being one of, if not the most important ingredients, and I was not lying about that. You are going to need to stack as much Ritual Oil as possible. The fastest way and the best way to get Ritual Oils is to run around your map playing a lot of the mini games. So the first one I already showed you, which is going around and collecting these green scrolls, as they will drop that red chest, which ultimately will give you more Ritual Oil. This isn't the only mini game, however, because we're also going to be able to locate these POIs, and some of these will have these puzzles where you need to run around and hit all 3 targets at once. When you hit them, you'll see that they start off as green, turn yellow, and then red if you run out of time. If this happens, you just need to hit them again so that all 3 of them are green. Once you've done this, it'll drop that red chest in order for you to get even more ritual oil. The third and final one that we're able to do is defeating a dummy. These are located all over the map. You just want to attack this until it eventually breaks and drops another red chest that drops more ritual oil. On the side of the monastery, you are going to be able to find yourself a bus station. So to those that are playing this and maybe forgot a totem of return, or maybe want to return back to their village, you guys are able to find a bus station on the side to return back to your village. It'll mark it so that when you're ready to come back to Ninjago Island, you will be able to return. Another cool and unique addition is finding these brand new shrines. They will give you different type of buffs. So this first one that I found gave me a harvesting speed buff, but you can find these all over the map that can give you increased armor and so much more. As you progress through these quests, you will be asked to find certain shrines. These will all be found inside of those biomes or areas when you're speaking to the NPC that you need to. So for example, speaking to Zane, I'll be able to find the shrine next to him in order to complete that quest, but it works the same for every single NPC that you're going to need to speak to. Let's talk about the enemies now, because these are very important. You can see on the top of this enemy in front of me that it looks as though it's either a fire or it's an earth type of shell crab. This is important because if you're looking for a specific type of energy, these are the enemies that you're going to need to fight. Not just that, but when you're looking for elemental shell, elemental claw, and whatever element that you need in order to complete a quest, you're going to need to then fight that type of enemy. When it comes to finding shell, it's defeating any of the shell crabs, but if you're looking for earth energy, you need to fight an earth enemy. If you're looking for an ice energy, you need to find an ice enemy. We're going to return back to our mastery here as we need to unlock a shuriken, and then we're going to need to unlock some different items later on in our progression. When you hover over some of the items, it will show you an unlock requirement, which is very important. They raised the essence total to 10,000, so to those that were able to prepare before the update, this was very important for you. So unlock anything needed prior to the health charm, and that will help you then unlock the shuriken to advance in your quests. Relics are very important. They're also very overpowered, but it's something that I skipped over and didn't realize how to make, and I'm sure that a lot of you are making that same mistake. Go into the regular workbench here, and what we're going to do is craft a weapon. Located on the right side inside of the workbench is going to be something called the relic slot. You could then place whichever relic that you have into that area to apply it onto your weapon. Now, the way that this works is different for every type of weapon. However, for this one that I selected, it goes ahead and it powers up that weapon to then allow me to use the relic. What this does is it freezes all of the enemies in front of me, which I think is very overpowered, especially when it comes to using any type of fire enemy, because using ice against fire does double damage. It's really cool that inside of this update, they added the fact that weapons are now able to counter specific enemies, which again makes it fun, but also makes it a bit challenging because you don't want to fight a fire enemy with fire. You want to make sure that you have an ice or a snow weapon instead. Ninja Betrayer Masters are very difficult to find. The places where I'm able to locate them are in wooded areas and even in some bushes. And with that knowledge, that means you have to wander around your map a lot. Not just that, but these enemies are tough to fight, especially if you run into one that has the exact same style of combat as you. You saw that this was actually able to freeze me in my position and continue to do damage to me, which is very difficult to fight against. But when you defeat them, that will also complete part of your quest. Later on in your quest, you'll have to defeat multiple versions of these, so you will need to be able to run around your map and explore, especially in those wooded or bushed areas, in order to find these. But once you defeat them, that will then complete that quest. The Lost Master is wandering around as well. They work exactly like how the old shell crabs do, where they are buried in the ground and will not come out unless you approach them. This is a very difficult enemy to fight against. You do need to break off the helmet in order to then make it vulnerable to do some real damage to it. I did find that the ice type of attack does work very very well against them, but its attack speed is very quick. It also has a ranged attack, which makes it very difficult to fight if you're using type of shurikens. What I recommend doing is using your ice style of weaponry, try to freeze it and do damage that way. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of damage very quickly, and I'm not even using the best weapon in the game. This is just a rare type of nunchuck with a different type of ice on it. We get ritual oil, and then we also get one reward that comes directly from that enemy. I saved the scariest part for last, and that's the fact that you could find dragons out in the wild. They're not in one designated area. They can be found anywhere, and especially if you're playing in an expert mode, you do want to avoid these, as until you master and you level up your mastery, you aren't going to be able to take these down unless you're extremely skilled in combat. But for myself, I don't think that it's worth the risk right now until we're able to completely master and level ourselves up. Now, this video should serve as the perfect beginner's guide for you. I believe I covered all of the basics to get started when it comes to this update, and I'm sure by the time that you finish this video and you play throughout the day, by the time you get to the next stages in the game, I'll have a video covering everything that you'll need to know as far as an advanced guide goes. Make sure that you guys leave a like on this video, hype the video up if you're able to, and subscribe with notifications on so that you get alerted for my next video covering this update. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Let me know if it helped down in the comment section below, and as always, guys, this was Crafty, and I'm out. Peace. Help me reach 100,000 subscribers by pressing the subscribe button down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and check out those 2 recommended videos as well. YouTube thinks you'll really like them.